Good afternoon and welcome to today's lunch break with the Rabbi. Today is Monday, May 24th, 2021. It is the 13th day of the month of Sivan, and we're starting a new Torah reading as we begin the new week. At this point, I'd like to remind you again that we have our JLI class continues on Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. We are continuing with the course It Can Happen, learning about the time and the era of the coming of Moshiach, how it's close and can happen with all of our participation. As well as also, I'd like to remind you that your questions, comments, and ideas of what these lunch breaks should be about, if you have any topics that you would like to discover, learn more about, please feel free to drop it in the comments, send me an email or a message so we can discuss them on further lunch breaks. Looking forward to hearing your comments and suggestions. This week's Torah reading is the name Ba'haloscha, which means, well, you will uplift. Literally intending and talking about the discussion of kindling the menorah. When Aaron was given the commandment to kindle the menorah, this commandment was given in continuation of last week's Torah reading, when the Jewish people were dedicating the Holy Tabernacle. Every single one of the leaders were able to bring a sacrifice in dedication to the tabernacle, and as the leaders of the tribes led the Jewish people in dedicating the tabernacle every single day by another leader bringing his sacrifices with his passion, with his intent to the dedication of the tabernacle. At the conclusion, the leader of the tribe of the Kohanim, of the Levites and the priests, Aaron, was disappointed. He said, "When is my turn to bring the sacrifices?" To which God responded and said, "Your turn, your mitzvah is going to be greater than theirs, as you will be the one to kindle the menorah." Their dedication of the sacrifices was only temporarily, as they brought the sacrifices today in dedication to the tabernacle. Yours is a commandment which is eternal. Every single morning, the Kohen will light the menorah in the holy temple. What is the menorah? A menorah, if you look at it, is 7 different branches. Different branches of all shapes and directions, but they're all connected at the base. The object of the menorah was to make that the flames should all be facing towards the center. The object of the menorah, as we find in this week's Torah reading, God tells Aaron, not only should you kindle the menorah, but you should be sure that the menorah should be kindled, that each flame should not need constant assistance, but that the flames should be able to be a luminary on their own. They should be able to be a flame that should be able to light another flame. You know the unique thing about a candle? It doesn't take much effort to light a candle. And even the smallest candle can bring and dispel the greatest amount of darkness. Even more so. When you light one candle from another candle, nothing is lost from the first candle. You can light thousands of candles from one candle without even taking one iota away from the candle itself. Over here, the message that Aaron was imparted with, that his mitzvah is greater than everybody else's. His mitzvah is eternal, while bringing sacrifices was limited. The Jewish people bringing sacrifices, every single one of the tribes, as we discussed, had their own passion, their own intent. It was limited to the time, to the place, to the person who may be bringing it. And the moment that sacrifice was brought, the passion may have been gone. Over here, the Torah tells us, number one, the concept of a candle, the concept of a flame is constant. It doesn't lose anything from it. But even more so, there are 7 branches to the menorah. We all have our different ways of thinking. We all look differently, think differently, and have many different opinions. 1 Jew, 2 Jews, 3 opinions. There's so many different ways and angles of looking at something. We can be in opposite directions. But as long as we're united at the core, as long as we come from the same stem, as long as our flame is facing the right way, facing the center, meaning that our intention, that we're all of the same direction and impression, then we know we're on track. We're all united. This was given to Aaron. Aaron, the Kohen, who was the lover of all people. It says that Aaron was a person who loved peace and pursued peace. He was a uniter. He was able to bring people together regardless of their opinions, show them the focus, and explain to them the importance of looking towards the center flame, recognizing and realizing that you don't lose from helping another person. You don't lose when you ignite the soul of another individual. You don't lose anything when you help another person identify and recognize and appreciate the greatness of Judaism and godliness that Torah has to share with us. This is the importance. This is the gratification that Aaron had and that every single Jew, ever since the Mitzvah of Menorah was given. Because there's one unique concept about the Mitzvah of the Menorah. That while the Menorah was in the Holy Temple, and the Mitzvah was given to the Kohen to light it in the Holy Temple, because a Kohen can only light the Menorah, only a Kohen can go into the Holy Temple. But let's say the Menorah was outside the Holy Temple. Any Jew would be allowed to technically kindle the Menorah, telling us that any Jew, regardless of how great or how small you think you are, you have a duty and an obligation to kindle the Menorah, to ignite the soul within another Jew, to remember that you have a task of bringing light into the world. It doesn't make a difference on what spectrum you're on, what your beliefs are in. But if you have the ability to light up the soul of another Jew, if you have the ability to shine up the day of another person, to bring light and brightness into another person's life, it's your duty and obligation to do so. Every single one of us cannot shy away from this obligation. The kindling of the menorah was every person's obligation. The kindling of another person's soul, helping another person, is everybody's obligation. It's not reserved for specific people. And remember again, kindling somebody's life, lighting somebody else's candle, you never lose from it. You only create more light and a brighter world. So let every single one of us appreciate the light that God has given us. And the way we appreciate it is by sharing that light and kindling the light and the menorah of every single person. Be a menorah. Recognize that we're united at the core. We're united at the stem. We all have the same mission and same intent, is to bring light into the world. Let us be beacons of light, beacons of shining, bright happiness into every person's life. Then we will finally be what God demands of us, to be a light unto the nation. Not only do we become brighter, the world becomes brighter. The entire universe becomes a brighter place, heralding in the great light, the brightest day of all, the coming of Moshiach. May it be now. Amen. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Lunch break with the Rabbi at 1 p.m. Again, I remind you, feel free to send in your comments, suggestions. What else would you like to hear on these lunch breaks? What other topics would you like to discuss? What other issues would you like to expound on? Feel free to message me, comment me, or private message me. Like this, you're sure I'll get that message. God bless you. Have a great day.